So as I promised in the last video, I said we're going to be going live so we can make some reactions. And again, I'm Timothy, always your host, and today we're going to discuss the different things that happen in Nigeria. So I think this is better if we're going live so we can have different reviews. You can also give your questions and I'll answer. Again, I promise to keep this short, but this is good so that if you probably want to call in, we can find a way to have you join us in. So yeah, I'm pumped for this. I'm sure you can hear me. Let me just test the audio all around. I'm sure you should be able to hear me. Let me just pop up all I need. So we're going to be starting with an interesting news of two brothers, very smart guys, two brothers. I think these are two guys, but I just want to test if all is good so that we can have a blessed stream today. Yep. Okay, I think we're good. So yeah, let's go straight to what we have for today. So today, as we love to do on this channel, I'm going to give a recap. Also, if you notice during the week, I had a reaction to the Cbex. I will talk about it later on in this video. So let's hit the home run. So on Sunday, that will be the 13th of April, it was in the news, and congratulations to the UI twin brothers. I think their name is Matthew and Matthias Busoye. They made history as being twins, and they also finished with a first class from electrical engineering. They were raised by a single mother. They lost their father at age 12, as the news has shown. I mean, congratulations to you guys. I'm also a first class graduate. Let me blow my trumpet a bit. So I know what it means to do so well in school, and I hope that they would continue to put their best and help humanity. I think a lot of awards have been coming their way, and this is really commendable. Also, this to say that school is not a scam. I don't believe school is a scam. I believe you can work, you can also be in school, and you can make good grades if you can, and make yourself and your family proud. I mean, imagine you're their mom. They will be so proud, or she will be so proud to have such intelligent young men. So congratulations to you guys. I think I have a friend that knows you guys. I think he knows the brothers, knows them personally, and he was speaking about them, and I was like, oh, that's good. So let's go to the next one we have. So also still on Sunday, we saw that the federal government they've begun the work on the Lagos-Calabar highway, and work has begun on the section from Lagos to Calabar, and they started on the 14th. This is the highway, in case you are seeing it. And the beautiful thing about this highway, if you've noticed, is that it's mostly concrete, which means it's going to stand the test of time. I know a lot of critics have come out to say, oh, why this, why that? I have my reservations too, but eventually when I thought about it, I felt, okay, this might be a good one, because if you look at the Nigerian map, it's going to come from Lagos down to Calabar through the coast. So again, I want to see this done. Hopefully in the 8 years of the president, we would have this done, and this is a good move. Yes. So also on Sunday, it was in the news. I think a lot of journalists have been reacting to the fact that the Nigerian army has shown that we have low enlistment by people in the southeast, especially, it was said that the slots, usually in Nigeria, they have slots for different regions. And so in Abia State, I think it was shown that about 25% of people picked up the form. I know this is an age-long battle on if Nigeria has been fair to the people of the southeast. I also feel and I hope to see a southeastern president soon in the nation. So please, as youths, please, it will be advisable to pick up the form. Also, one more thing, the problem of this is in years to come, when you have in the Nigerian army, you begin to have promotions and people take up positions. If we don't have representatives from this region, then again, we'll begin to argue, oh, the country is not fair to them and stuff like that. So this is just a wake-up call, for the people of the South is to take use of such opportunities. So still on Sunday, the NDLEA, that's the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, they seized over 10 million kilogram of drugs. Wow. And that shows the hard work of the current DG of NDLEA, or the leadership. I think his name is Buba. Yeah, Mr. Buba Mara. His leadership has been tracking and getting some of these guys. Again, I still feel that they should try to get the real guys behind, the kingpins behind some of these operations. That would really help. Also on Sunday, Mr. Tunde Onokoya, the popular chess player, he has taken up another Guinness Book record. He wants to break his own record, the chess record, and he's attempting to have a 70-hour chess marathon. Currently, I think it's still on. It started on the 17th, and today is the 20th. So obviously, or today is the 19th. Yeah, so it's still on, and I wish him Godspeed. I think he's doing this at the New York Times Square, which is a notable place for something of this nature. So yeah, Mr. Tunde, we hope that you hit your target. The whole country, and I think the continent at large, is rooting for you. Also, let's go to Monday. That'll be Monday, the 14th of April. The federal government has set for a 14-month deadline for the Abuja-Kaduna Zaria road. That's to show again, that's another very busy road in the north part of Nigeria, and they're planning to complete this, in a very short while. Although the budget might be debatable, you have a budget of about 525 billion, and the minister has come out to say it's going to be a legacy project, just like the Lagos-Calabar way and different projects under the president. I'm really watchful to see if they'll complete many of these projects, because right from the beginning of independence, you've not seen many presidents, they don't start and complete projects. The same with Big Baba, Obasanjo, down to Yaradua. Again, he didn't spend much time. To President Goodluck Jonathan, one president that might have tried in that aspect, although it's always arguable because his the economic team was doing rubbish. But in the part of infrastructure, you can give it to someone like Buhari, who did a lot of infrastructural work. So yes, let's see if this presidency or this administration would complete many of the projects they've started. Also, it's been on the news, and I think the president came out to publicly speak against it, that a lot of people have been campaigning, pre-election, and that's it's a red flag, because usually in Nigeria, the Electoral Act will give time for you to begin campaign and other things. So the president came out openly to, ask his supporters to stand down. I remember someone who said, "Oh, the president is aware." I said, if you ask me sincerely, I don't think he's aware, because many times people who are enthusiastic, people who want favor, they go ahead to do these things to think they would earn the president's respect. So thank you, Mr. President, for that. Also, still on Monday, the Bring Back Our Girls, it's about 11 years now. April 14, 2025 would be 11 years since Boko Haram abducted over 200 Chibok girls. It's painful, really, but, listening to a lot of analysts, I found out allegedly, I found out that it's now more of a brain problem or a psychological problem, because many times some of these girls are now part of this particular sect and they don't even want to come back home. And, it's quite painful, but that's the reality of things, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. So let's slide straight to Tuesday, the 15th of April, 2025. The suspended governor of Rivers State, or the governor on stand down, or whichever way, the suspended governor, that's Governor Fubara, he has come out to condemn the Nigerian police, for using tear gas on some women protesting in Ahawada East. That's a river name, or a river state name, but he came out to condemn it, and it's condemnable, really, because I hope that the police would be fair, because on the other side you have people who were protesting for the suspension, where some were protesting against. But it looks like the police force attacked those who were protesting against it. So I hope, that the police will get themselves together. In all of this, we're trying to find, or I'm hopeful to see a solution. I'm not hopeful to see a lot of issues again. I mean, it's been dragging for over and over and over again. And I think the Minister of FCT, in an interview or a media chat that was on Friday, he came out to openly speak about this, which we'll talk about later on. So still on Tuesday, the PDP Governors Forum, they came out to openly reject a possibility of measures. All of them, I think the governor of Bauchi State, governor of Oyo State, they've come out to say no, that it's better for you to join them than for them to merge or have like a coalition, which is true, and that shows that painfully so, we might not have an opposition in 2027. Very painful reality. And I tell many people who are political analysts, of which I say I'm trying to be, and that's why I'm doing this. I tell them that if you can't come to sit down and have trade-offs, I think that's where the current president and Buhari, had to sit down to have a trade-off, when to do this, when to do that. If everyone wants to get the number one seat at once, there will be no headway. And that's why I take up people who say, oh, the president brought Buhari and he played games with Nigeria, he was supposed to run. And many times I look at them and say, can you hear yourself? Because we just finished a Jonathan Goodluck administration. It wouldn't make any form of sense to have someone from the south or the southwestern part or whichever region take up just after Jonathan. So picking Buhari was the smartest political choice available at that time, because again, Atiku did not win and people didn't like him. So yes, let's come back to the PDP's governor, the PDP Governors Forum, sorry. So they have come out to say they don't plan on any coalition. I think the past presidential candidate of the PDP, Mr. Atiku, has been going around saying he wants a coalition. I don't think it's going to happen. Yes, I think we have no one viewing this for now, but whenever you view this or you're online, you could just post your questions. I would go later to answer those questions as we go ahead. Also, the president has given the mandate to the Plateau State governor. That's the person of Mr. I think it's Caleb. Caleb Mufwang. Yeah, that's his name. That's the Plateau State governor. And he has given him, an ultimatum to solve the ethnic problem. For me, I saw an interview where the governor was trying to say he's helpless. And many times the question I ask myself is, oh, you're helpless, sir, which is fine. But, sir, you have the security votes. I mean, it's a whole lot of money. So what do they use things like that for? I also feel the president should be more proactive in what he's doing to, curb this insecurity, because a lot of people just die for nothing. So yes, that's the news on the Plateau State. Hopefully this would come to an end. I think it also happened in December last year and it's happening again. Really painful. So that's that on the Plateau State. Also, if we come to still on Tuesday, it was everywhere that Mr. Peter Obi wanted to visit Benue State, and his visit was halted by the governor. And the governor has come out to publicly affirm that, that he doesn't want anyone to use the IDP camp for political points. And that's the person of Governor. Why are things hard for me today? Maybe because it's my first time doing this. Governor Hyacinth Alia. I think he's also a father. That's what I know him as, and you can see he's in his attires. But yeah, he publicly came out to say, oh, he does not want anyone to use this political situation, that's the internally displaced persons, their camps, they call it IDP camps. He doesn't want it to be for political points. And so I think that's why he has chosen not to allow political actors to come into the state, which, I mean, the painful part for me is, how do we balance this and ensure that the right aids get to those who need it? It's going to be a problem, Mr. Governor. But, you know, I also understand you're a politician. Again, many times I try to think like politicians before I speak, because if you were there as a politician, wouldn't you do the same thing? So yeah, that's that on that. We hope that peace is restored to Benue State. Also, still on Tuesday, a PDP chieftain came out to publicly oppose coalitions. I mean, everyone in PDP is saying no. There was an interview. The governor of Oyo State also came to say no, they're the party to beat and things like that. All of that. I hope that this will be resolved very soon. So yeah, still on Tuesday, the presidency, I think there was a news that the US court was given, they had the rights to release the files of the current president. And one of his media aides, that's Mr. Daniel Bwala, he came out to say, oh, that it's been public for a while, that there's no new evidence or incriminating information. For me, I have read as far back as 2018, I read the documents. I would like to see if we'll see any new thing. Again, I tell people I'm a bit indifferent to things like that. But if you have contrary, or if we get contrary opinions or no documents, then we'll come here to openly call out the president to address some of these concerns. But if we keep flogging the documents we've seen through the years, then it's really of no reason. Those documents were there even when he ran as senator in Lagos State, ran as governor. How come it's in 2023? People make some of these documents look new. So yeah, let's continue. I think still on Tuesday, we had issues around Air Peace, and you know, they had to offer free repatriation for girls who were trafficked to Ghana and to Ivory Coast, not Ghana. And you know, this has been online. Very Dark Man has been advocating for this, so I think this is a good one. And kudos to the Air Peace management and the chairman. Also on Tuesday, the federal government has come out to deny the Catholic priest. You know, some Catholic priests, they reported killings of Christians in Benue State, and you know, and this has been shown, you know, at the US Congress. I think the video came out and was making rounds, but the federal government they've come out to deny the claims, while you know, the US embassy has raised concerns over threats to this Catholic priest in Benue State. But the federal government is saying no, they don't have such threats, and hopefully, you know, things like this are resolved without having to play international politics. Also, there was an abuse of a boy. I think that boy is in one of the IDP camps in Benue State, and the governor has come out to intervene. Not only did he intervene, he also ensured that the abuser was arrested. He gave the child scholarship and a fully furnished home. This is commendable, Mr. Governor, but do we wait until things like this will happen before we give out some of these things to those who are in need? I don't know. I think you're doing your best, sir, but I don't know if there's a plan to not only give homes to people like this, but to have a, you know, form of government housing plan where people will still pay, and then they can access some of this infrastructure, or would I say personal needs, or because these are things we see in the Western world where there are different housing authorities and they try to subsidize some of these amenities. Yes, that's the word, basic amenities for people. So yes, sir, this is credible, but I feel you can do more in this aspect. Also on Tuesday, the bomb or the big guy, I'll take some time on this, so please pardon me. I think we're still about 30 minutes into this video or into this live session, but this platform actually, you know, I had a lot of pressure A lot of people came to me, oh, don't I want to make money? Don't I want to become wealthy? And I did not partake in it. So eventually on Tuesday, I think it became a national news and a national tragedy because a lot of people lost their earnings. For now, I'm still trying to test out this live, but in subsequent lives, what we'll do is that we'll have videos where we'll play for you and we'll react to it. Now, I'm not saying this because I am happy they lost their money. Obviously not. That would be insensitive of me. But the truth is, what their promises were not real. And so it's reported, allegedly, that some investors have lost to the tune of about 1.3 trillion. Now, if you look at the budget of our country and you look at this amount, you would notice this is in a way roughly, let's just say 2% of the annual budget of our nation. Roughly that. If probably it could be less, so that I'm not found to be exaggerating, but that shows you that we have so much money, a lot of people invested in it, and they wanted such high gains. So let's put it in perspective. If we have about 1.3 trillion naira this month, based on their promises, then next month it should be about 2.6 or even 2.8 trillion naira. When we go get sense, as we say in Nigeria, when are we going to be wise? This is not feasible. And the painful thing is that let's give it time. Another new scheme will be out very soon and people will still put in their cash. For me and my household, we have decided not to do things like this. So that's that on Cbex. I did a short video where I addressed some of the concerns. I hope that people would hear, and I hope no one loses money to things like this anymore. So yeah, that's that on that. On Wednesday, the 16th of April, the Plateau State governor came out publicly to address the issue of the terror attacks. And I think he was found to be felicitating with those who died. Over 51 people died in that attack. Really painful. And we hope that those who did this act will be found and they would serve justice. Still on Wednesday now, the NBA, that's the Nigerian Bar Association, they were asked by the lawyer, or let's say a human rights lawyer, to return about 300 million naira. They got these funds from Rivers State to support their conference. It's quite painful because, if you've been listening to some of this, I think last 2 weeks, I reacted to one of the news, or I gave an overview where the NBA was calling out the federal government to say that the suspension of the Rivers State governor is illegal. So if you're sitting from that perspective, you say, oh, these guys are good, they mean well for the nation. Hearing this now, you would say, oh, okay, is it because they got some money at some point? So, and I think the NBA has come out to say they would not return it. It was a gift, different things, but I feel they should for credibility's sake. That's that on that. Also on Wednesday, the EFCC, that's the Economic and Financial Crime Commission, they probed into the Cbex scam, and they are working with Interpol also to deliver. Hopefully they get those who perpetrated this and they bring them to books. Also on Wednesday again, everywhere, it was a popular news that the Akwa Ibom State governor came out to say he's going to support the president for 8 years. That means he's going to support him for second term. That's to pledge. And that literally means the next election, the president is going to win that state. I mean, I just, and mind you, this current governor is a PDP governor. That shows you, a lot of politics is being played for 2027. I'm really hopeful to see what we'll do in this community for 2027. But hopefully we'll do something banger during that time. Also on Wednesday, the Ekiti Ekiti, sorry, Ekiti State, some of their residents were given like a place to charge their phone, and it brought about a lot of celebration. I think Mr. Bayo Ajayi, he's a member of the Ekiti State Environmental Protection Board. He got he opened a community charging station to address electricity shortages. It's not something we should celebrate, really, because I feel we can do better. And that's why I still sincerely feel the Minister of Electricity is not addressing some things. Though I saw his media chat or his review where he was showing some of the things he had done and stuff like that, but I still think we can do more. So that's that for Ekiti State. Also on Wednesday, the controversial singer is known as Portable. He went bald. I think he's been in a back and forth between himself and Saheed Osupa, and he now had to come out publicly to apologize to the veteran singer. But I mean, this is not for entertainment. This is just, I just want to give you a heads up on things happening around that line. So we're still on Wednesday. Also, the Sultan of Sokoto has called out for justice. He is also calling for some form of regulation of social media. Now, as much as I will need to react shortly to this, because as much as I love social media, I use social media to get information. Do I try to find out the right information before coming here? I also see some sense in what he's saying, because many times people just do what they feel like, and they just do things without check and balances. People say things without verifying. I think everyone wants to be the first to say something rather than giving something valid. And so I think it's a good one, but I bet to differ, because he called social media a terrorist organization. That I'm not so sure of. So yeah, that's that on the Sultan of Sokoto. I don't want to go into that because I have friends in the northern part of Nigeria and I want to tread carefully. So yes, back to let's go to Thursday. So on Thursday, the 17th of April, I think the court has released one of the guys who stood publicly in front of the car of Mr. Peter Obi. I think the picture was viral at that point. That young boy, he has been released, and for me, I'm still bothered on why someone like this guy, who is a minor, could be taken into custody for such a while. But yes, he has been released, and I'm sure he's back to his family. Also, there's still a PDP power tussle. The past governor of Rivers State has reacted to it. Senator Sam Anyanwu has also come out to react to some of the things the governors have done. I think they removed him as the national secretary, and he has come out to say, that's Senator Sam Anyanwu, he has come out to say it is unconstitutional, and he still insists that he is the current national secretary. Now, this is a problem in PDP, and it's hanging for quite a while. PDP, please. I mean, you guys should be trying to give us alternative force in the political landscape of Nigeria, but you guys have a lot of power tussle, which I don't see how opposition will do their work when they're always caught up with things like this. Also, it's now a fact that we've had more insecurity across Nigeria, and Deputy Senate President, that's Senator Orji Kalu, he has urged the federal government to take decisive actions. I mean, he gave example of youths in the southeast, youth in the north, and all of those things. I think his major concern is how to bring back state policing. That's another subject we might need to discuss in our interactions together. But let's just keep this short and crisp. Also, we're on Thursday. Dangote has caught the fuel price. Hooray. This is a good one for the masses. Just as I predicted last week, that the price of crude oil has been going down, and this should reflect in his prices. Also, I heard that the Naira for crude policy is back, so hopefully we would have a bit of a competitive price. I still believe that the price of crude should be around 700 to 700 Naira per liter. So, yep, that's that on Dangote. Also, there's been a viral video of, I mean, I could not post a picture about this, but a viral video of some policemen trying to collect bribe from Chinese nationals. And the Chinese company has come out to say, oh, it's one of the ways they honor servicemen. But actually, personally, I don't think it's good for the optics. And I've noticed that thing with our country or our climate generally. In governance or government, we are not really so good with optics, which is not the best. So, yep. Also, Peter Obi has, in a letter or on a social media account, he has called out the presidency to tackle the insecurity in the nation. He's asking for an urgent action. He's also saying, why is the president in France, that the man should come back home, which I also think so, because your country is going through a lot, except if you're there for economic reasons or you're there to, I don't know, but I feel the president should be on ground to address some of these situations as the nation is battling with it. Also in Akure, we had a tragedy, and I think the first lady, it's rumored or allegedly that the first lady's convoy killed a child or something, but the government house have come out to say it's not true. I don't know, but I think it was during the visit of Madam President to Akure, and hopefully this would be given more attention. I want to keep it as allegedly because I only saw this somewhere and I'm not too sure. But if this is true, then, I feel that there should be compensations. Also, I still believe the way traffic and things are coordinated when those we call VIPs, I think it should be moderated better. I've seen, in where I am here, I've seen VIPs move. I'm not against the convoy or the length of the convoy. That I would be hypocritical to say the length of the convoy should, I've seen worse here, long convoys for the president and those active in service. But my point is, it should be well organized so that people don't get injured in the process. So we're still on Thursday. Lastly, on Thursday, I think Mr. Yaya Bello, he has come out to say that that's Senator Natasha, he has come out to say he feels that he's accusing her of defamation and is planning a legal redress for such case. As I've said, anytime I hear things like this, I'm just saying it so you can know. I'm not saying it because I believe they will take any action, because usually politicians find a way behind the curtain to have a handshake and they smile and things go back to normal. But that's what the past governor of Kogi State said. Hopefully they find a way to resolve it. So let's go straight to Friday. That'll be Friday, the banger on Friday. This has been the talk of the town, and he does it always. And I think he addressed one of my questions last week. He spoke about the reason why the states cannot pay the current minimum wage. He spoke about that. I'm talking about the Minister of FCT, Minister Wike. He spoke about why the states cannot pay, the minimum wage. He spoke about different things. He spoke about his relationship with Fubara. I think he's now openly saying it, that if the current or the suspended governor, if the suspended governor is sincere, he would consider to forgive. I think for me that was heartwarming, and I think it's now obvious to everyone. And he validated one of my predictions too, that the governor was the one who gained the most from this action. He said that that based on his view as a politician, he's not happy, but his principal has took that step to save the governor from being impeached. So I think, I want to leave all he said. You can check the details. It's everywhere. All the major outlets of the country, I think news outlets, they took, they broadcasted this. They call it media chats, and it's everywhere. Also, he spoke about the PDP, his party, and he said that they are not ready for presidential election. That's for 2027. Minister Wike said they are not ready for the 2027 elections. Besides, I like his glass. But for me, there's one thing I learned from him, and I love to learn from people. I learn from everyone. But the point is, he was very vocal and very direct. You can't judge sincerity, really, because, I'm not in his heart. But you can see he was very direct. He said his mind, and in a way, he has been consistent with what he has been saying since the 2023 elections. Also, one thing I would love to do as we grow as a community is to pick some interviews and show some insincere statements when people are interviewed. And you see someone in the same interview say A, in the same interview say it's B. Things like that. But Mr. Wike is always consistent, probably because he has a legal background. So I urge the suspended governor to find a way, hopefully, to resolve this matter with the FCT minister. He gave different reasons. He spoke about why he did not support Atiku, why he would not support Atiku again, and things like that. So again, on Friday, I think, as I said earlier on, the Minister of Electricity came out to speak about the fact that electricity is now accessible. I think he said you have 150 million Nigerians enjoying adequate electricity access. I think I'm going to ask the question, sir. Can you give us a detailed list? So I still don't believe we are doing all we can do. I believe we can do more. But the minister came out to say, he thinks they are doing good. He feels that things are getting better. Also on Friday, Senator Shehu Sani, that's the senator from Kaduna. First of all, he's back to APC. He made that public since the man he claims he does not like has gone. That's the past minister of power, past governor of Kaduna State, Malam El-Rufai. But also on Channels TV, he claimed, that I like what he said. He validated my point last week that if you want to judge by nepotism, that you have to go to the Buhari administration to check also and see. He did not deny outrightly the nepotism or lopsided appointments in the current administration. But, I think it's something, as I said last week, that the presidency can look into it. I know they brought out some figures, but no one will be impressed if many economic positions are given to a particular set of people, especially people from the southern part or the southwestern part of Nigeria. It's just something that would spark such interest. So yes, he spoke about it and different things. You can see the interview. I think this will be the last one. A popular singer, his name is Taye Currency. He also came out to say he lost about 10 million naira to the Ponzi scheme. That shows his let's say he's also greedy, because I don't know how you take such an amount, hope to flip the amount in such a short time. Also, I think VDM, he spoke about the Sultan. He gave some remarks, and a lot of people have, I think the youths in the northern part of Nigeria, they came out to make remarks about his statements, and they hope to take him up. That's their problem, but it's just good for you to know. You would have seen a back and forth online of such wranglings. For me, it's just painful that VDM came out as a force at a time. He was good at what he was doing, holding people accountable, but just like every other social media enhanced speaker, when they get comfortable, they feel they can speak about everything. They don't let you see that they are humans. They don't also show you the part that sometimes they might be wrong. And when they are wrong, they can take back their words and continue whatever they are doing, whatever activism they are doing. Rather, they try always to make themselves look right always. And that's the problem. Probably it's a Nigerian problem, or probably because that's what the mob, quotes, the online mob, that's what they want. But I want to, I mean, I'm indifferent, but I want to see how this will play out between the Northern youths and Very Dark Man. Also, lastly, the convoy of the First Lady, as I said earlier on, the Ondo State Police Commissioner has come out to say that the convoy did not kill anyone or did not kill the lady. He clarified that the white Lexus that killed that girl was not part of the First Lady's convoy, which should put to rest this argument. So this is all I have for now. As I love to say, we're just starting in our journey, and I think this live is better. I mean, that's it, except if you have questions. So let me take some questions. I'll go to my production team. Let me get some questions and see if, okay, so yeah. Oh, no one is viewing. That's it. That's all I have for today. Hopefully, again, next week we'll have more people view this, and we can be doing this live on Saturdays like this. Till next week, if you have anything you want us to discuss, again, I hope to host a podcast soon where we discuss Nigerian issues. Sometimes I'll bring those who are in the opposition, as we say, different parties, APC, PDP, we discuss. Probably we'll take it up into international politics, where we look at, American politics, France politics, and things like that, just to keep ourselves up to date with what is happening in the world. Don't forget, no matter how you try to be indifferent to politics will eventually affect you. It will affect how you live. It will affect your decisions, whether directly or indirectly. And that's why you have to know what is happening. So yes, till the next week, I believe you stay blessed. I believe, you keep verifying whatever you're hearing. And I believe, you keep getting better at whatever you're doing. Till next week, have a good one. Remain blessed. Bye.